Our Sangha, through our this open community forum, what we want to do is share like little pieces that you can take with you and practice at home. Whether it's a recipe, whether it's an understanding of something from the Vedic tradition, whether it's an understanding about, a disease like diabetes that's affecting so many people in the U.S., and thinking about what are the steps that we can take in our day-to-day life to live and eat in such a way that we don't make ourselves candidates for the diabetes list. And one of the things I've really appreciated over the past years, many people come to each satsang or to a few in the year, and we always speak about the seasons because Ayurveda is very closely tailored to the season. It takes, eating organic and local food to the next step of not just what is in season, but the science of why would you eat this at this time? What's going on in our bodies, in our environment that's sort of both intuitive, but maybe not intuitive. So lots of people have been telling me, I followed the regime for, early summer or midsummer, and I just felt so much better. I followed the spring regime, and I realized I had way less problem with allergies and so on. So this has been one of the exciting things that I've really enjoyed about our community afternoons together. So this afternoon, we're going to look at the season that's coming up, the early winter. We're going to have a discussion from Dr. Mahesh Sabde, who loves to sort of sit at the back somewhere and just appear at the right moment. He's going to be speaking with us about fertility. There's a whole nourishment theme happening this afternoon. Our Ayurvedic chef Sanjay is going to demonstrate a couple of these very nourishing recipes that are great for people who would like to build fertility and great for people who would like to build health in early winter. We will be having some contemplations, even some group discussion amongst ourselves. So at this point, I would like to introduce to you Shunya Pratichi Mathur, who's the head teacher and the founder and the visionary behind this what often feels like a very daring experiment in translating the themes and the objectives and the culture of the Gurukul into a Berkeley environment that really reaches people here as we are today.
Welcome to our family. Please make it your family. The responsibility of the teachers of the community is great, especially at a time when the both good and the bad side of technology is hitting us. And it is very important to hold on to this classical tradition. This is a thousands of year old text, and stay close to it. And when we have a mindful audience like yours, I remember my teachers teaching to me how my speech can totally be in connection to my intention, my soul intention. And I was chatting with Nandini, and when I had walked away from that intention, there was so much pain, there was so much physical disease, but then a return to that intention has created so much health and vibrancy for myself as a human being. So I had a little detour away from this knowledge, away from my grandfather and great-grandfather's teaching, away from the protection of this beautiful science of Ayurveda, and a little exploration, if you may, of the youthful being, of the mind and the ego. But have I come home? I have. And not only have I come home, but then I was greeted by my sister Hema and Suhasini, and my teachers here, Maheshji, Prakashji. So many beautiful souls have come together here. And then the students, and now the visitors who come, who then start looking like their relatives. Aunties and uncles are coming together and cousins. So this family is growing, and this is the family of knowledge in which we worship this light. And Baba taught me, my teacher said, Vanga me manasi pratishtata, mano me vachi pratishtata. He said, in your speech, make sure you establish the deepest sankalpa of your soul. And that in your soul then, as you hear your own speech, may it again get remotivated by this speech. May this speech reach out to other souls. So this will be, and this is our humble effort here. And we worship light here. Light, this is also the festival of Deepavali on us now. And tomorrow we are doing a Dhanvantari Puja of the god of Ayurveda here. A priest will be coming and we will be offering him our deep gratefulness for supporting this Gurukul. Then day after is Narak Chaudas, where all students will be cleaning out their homes and cleaning the outer and the inner homes of tamas. And then on Deepavali in the school and in our homes we will light Deepa Jyoti everywhere and remember that health, Arogyam, Vijaya, Shakti, victory, that is the only truth. And we won't believe anymore in the stories and illusions told to us by our mind or the collective mind that we are broken, small, fragmented. And when we get scared, we will hold on to our Sangha, our friends, our satsang. Here we don't mean to gossip. Here we don't mean to come here and say anything negative about any other system of medicine, because God bless, every system of medicine is helping someone and it has come forward from a very good place. But here we come together and calculate our strength and spend some time contemplating on the poetry of the sages as Hemaji shared with you, or as some of the teachings that I will share with you. This knowledge is like a beautiful protective space. It's like a womb that we return to again and again. This Sangha model of education comes from my Bade Baba and Baba, who in 1800s started the great Sangha in Uttar Pradesh, Ayodhya, to revive the Indian people and awaken them to their great potential and knowledge, and to really be proud of it and to really heal themselves organically. And that is why, though our Gurukul is offering very in-depth education to select students to make them future leaders and teachers and ambassadors of Ayurveda, but our Sangha model wants to leave no one behind and share freely, optimistically, happily and abundantly with all our heart whatever we can offer you. So come today, come again and again. Also go on our website, download videos, forward them, do what you want with them to celebrate this knowledge, because it has been given to us as a privilege by the sages. It has been given to us as a gift, and until we open that gift and really be grateful and really utilize it, we haven't really said our thank you to the sages who brought us so much. So I again thank you, Hemaji, who saw the teacher in me, because it is with support of people like Hemaji and all of you and my dear students that souls like us can connect to our inner teacher and thank all the teachers sitting here. So we begin our class today with a prayer to Deepa Jyoti. Shubham karoti kalyanam arogyam dhana sampada shatru buddhi vinashaya Deepa Jyoti Namostute. May the light lead us. May the light inspire our thoughts, speech, and intention. The season is changing. We human beings have the great privilege of enjoying an earth that is constantly oscillating around the sun, and therefore giving us a beautiful fresh perspective and a taste of its beauty, its fullness and abundance every 2 months. Slowly we are moving into what is called as the Ritu Sandhi. Last Sangha I had taught you in depth about Sharad Ritu. Are many of you following Sharad Ritu recommendations? Can I see raise of hands? Wonderful. Are they working for you? Has the Sharad Ritu helped you? Following its recommendations versus not following it helped you? Yes or no?
Yes.
I'm a little hard of hearing.
Yes.
All this Ayurveda didn't help me with the hearing. I need to hear a lot of yes. Wonderful. Thank you. No, my hearing is good. Playing with you. What is there to be shy in a family gathering? Huh? Okay. So, Sharad Ritu helped you. The Sharad Ritu, as of November 1, starts saying bye-bye to us. There is a 14-day period, 7 days of climb down of the Sharad Ritu, where Pitta was in Prakop, and I explained to you why. And now 7 days of building up into Hemant Ritu, which is early winter. Hemant Ritu. And this Hemant Ritu is such an awaited Ritu in Vedika Gurukul. Yes, Trishakti? Do you know why? Food.
Yum.
Yum food. In Hemant Ritu, I will explain to you why, but the Gurukul here at Vedika and its kitchen turns into a non-stop kitchen of some kind of a feast. And we are eating for about 2 months straight. Very rich and wonderful foods. And so when our new students join in January, they hear of this legendary Hemanta Ritu from older students, and then we say, look, you have to wait around. It will come mid-November to mid-January. This is Hemanta Ritu. And from mid-January to mid-March, we have Shishira Ritu. Shishira Ritu is like Hemanta Ritu, but it is, you can say, deeper winter or more intense winter or more cold winter. Because you are already living as per Sharad Ritu, many of you, I am just going to move forward to give you some recommendations of Hemant and Shishir Ritu so that you are prepared in advance, and also you know how to navigate this Sandhi time or this crux in between 14 days. November 1 to November 14, slowly, there will be a change in the macrocosm, and what will happen is that you were up till now taking very cooling foods, right? But we are going to ask you that over the 7 days, reduce the coolness and the bitterness of the food and the astringency of the food, and then over the next 7 days, gradually increase the sweet, sour, salty taste in your food, and that they need not be cold, but they can be warm in not only their texture, but also in their potency. For example, coconut derived any substance, be it oil or water or the coconut flakes, they are cool when we digest them. But for example, garlic, even if you freeze it, when you do eat it, it has a warming attribute. Do you understand? So we want more warmth during the Hemant and Shishir Ritu. So we cannot continue to have the cooling, bitter, astringent and somewhat drier kind of foods that we were having during the Sharad Ritu. The question that comes is why? The question is because while we are going about our life, the earth has done a flip. It has done a turnaround. Until the Sharad Ritu, it was moving towards the sun. It was moving towards the sun. And as the earth is approaching a very hot, very, very burning, very, very tej-filled source of energy, Shakti, you can imagine the kind of heat impact it will have up on us in this late, September. Did you feel it, Narayani? Did your pitta start showing up? Yes.
But not too much
Because you're following Ayurveda. Very good, very good. But in previous years, do you remember this time? Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody who has rashes, it will show up. Somebody who has, a tendency to have little boils, it can come out. There can be a herpes breakout. There can be fevers. There can be all kinds of things which are related to Pitta. And it may look cloudy and cool, and you can say, no, it is windy, it is cool. Am I guessing, is it Vata, it's Kapha? No, don't guess. It's Pitta. Trishakti, do you agree? Totally. But this, yes, it is true, you are my 4th year student, so I'm hoping you didn't have a Pitta excitation.
Not really, not
really, not at all.
Yes.
But in the past, yes. So now what happens? Now what's happening? Till this Sharad Ritu, this autumn, it was moving towards the sun, and when you move towards the sun, you are going to experience in return a lot of heat and a lot of burning, and that will do prakop or excitation of Pitta. But now the earth has turned around. It's just entering that juncture of turning around. And as it turns around, the sun is behind now. Now the sun is behind. So as we were going towards the sun, the kala or the time, it is called Adana Kal. What happens is when such a hot source is facing earth, in the heat it starts taking all the moisture, all the juiciness, all the nourishment of all the living creatures, plants, animals and human beings, and everybody feels dehydrated and all they are looking for is a coconut drink. But why? Because the sun is ticking. But when we turn our back, now we have entered Visarga Kal, Hemaji. Visarga means giving. Now the sun says, go, take it back. Now it is releasing. And the moon becomes more active. Surya, Chandrama. Now as the moon becomes more active, what does moon do? Have you experienced it? What does it do? Tell me. Nourishes you, cools you, replenishes you, juices you up, right? When the moon energy is soaked by the entire this hemisphere, what happens is slowly, everything will become more and more cooled. Well, actually, even Sharad Ritu is part of that season, but it is the ending of the heat and now it is turned around. So by Hemant Ritu, we have full moon coming through and less sun. Got it? Now we have moon, Chandrama. Now it is Visarga Kal, sun has just giving. So now what happens is, end of Sharad, beginning of Hemant, right? Sharad, Hemant, and Hemant, Sharad and Varsha. Yes. Varsha, Sharad and Hemant. Shishir and Uttarayan begins. Yes, I'm correct. The moon has reached its peak. The moon will be reaching its peak. Moon and its effect upon all living creatures. So the moon will reach its peak from when? From about November 15th to about January 15th. These 2 months are the healthiest months in the entire year. Good news. The reason they are so healthy is none other but the fact that our indwelling Agni, our indwelling metabolic fire, our indwelling agency that transforms food and nutrition into tissues, vitality and energy, it is at its peak. Why is it at its peak? Because when everything is cold outside and there is not allowed a lot of motion of Vata outside, it comes back inside. This is slightly advanced concept, so I'm repeating it more for my students than for common public. But you can say, so hope you become students and understand it in future. But then this Vata dosha goes back inwards and kindles the Agni. When the Agni is kindled inside, you will find that during Hemant ritu, nights are longer, and when you wake up, you are hungry. Have you noticed that? As it gets cooler, your hunger increases. Have you noticed it? And if you do not eat, what will happen is, this Agni is Prajwalit. This Agni is already high. What this Agni will do is, if you do not eat food at that time, it will start doing pachan or digestion of your dhatus or tissues, and at that time, Vata dosha can become released. So what we do is to prevent Vata dosha from aggravating, to prevent you from becoming weaker, to prevent you from becoming drier and constipated, which is not inbuilt into the season, but only if you don't listen to what the season wants. The season wants you to eat well, enjoy it, and eat heavy, rich, nourishing, sweet, sour, salty foods. This is like a license from heaven. Should we just start the potluck now? So you can imagine how dramatically disturbing would be if somebody went on a fasting diet in these 2 months. Can you imagine? But people start fasting diet as soon as they can download it from the internet. At any time, the human body is considered as an unchangeable entity until the next visit to the MD. I am sorry. The human body is a sensitive, biologically, psychologically, spiritually changing, responsive organism. And the human body is very much the reflection of the macrocosm. And therefore, with this enhanced Agni during Hemanta and Shishir, continuing 4 months almost, this is the time to eat those nourishing foods such as nuts, such as goat meat, chicken, healthy meats, of course, remember organic, milk and milk products. Even yogurt can be enjoyed. At this time, we follow the yogurt rules. We have done other sanghas on it, like not at night. We mix it either with honey or with sugar or with black pepper or with mung dal. We never take it alone. We don't take it with fruits. We don't take it with anything else. Among lentils, urad dal is a very heavy dal compared to mung dal, which is a light dal. Urad dal is actually a sweet, nourishing, earth-increasing dal. This is the time for those of you who are from South India, non-fermented urad dal vadas and dosas and things like that. We will also try to show you an urad dal recipe. Today, Sanjay ji will show you. This is the time to enjoy cottage cheese preparations. Paneer, do you know paneer? Paneer preparations. So if somebody wanted to build their muscles and build their body weight, would this be a good time, do you say? Yes. Yes. This is definitely not a time to starve yourself or skip meals or even have late breakfast. Always say, if my Agni is not occupied with food, what is it eating? Is it eating my muscles? Is it eating my dhatu? We can't afford that because very quickly Vat can increase at this time. Not only do we have to feed it internally with fats such as ghee, oils such as natural oils. Not only we have to give it sweet, sour, salty foods. Not only we have to give it heavy foods. Not only have to we ensure that the stomach is not starving, it is comfortably okay. We give decent time between the meals and that's our rules that we follow. But we also have to ensure that we apply oil, sesame oil or some medicated oil if you come to our clinic and you've been recommended on our body daily, because Vat can then become aggravated even in through our skin, through our limbs. So we need a lot of oiling, and on top of that, when you apply the oil, you will realize that your limbs have a new strength. So much so is the benefit of oiling the body during this time that if you were to go to India for a panchakarma to rejuvenate yourself, to revitalize yourself, to make yourself feel youthful, we say wait for Hemant ritu. Then you apply oil for 15 days, it will carry you through the year. Do you agree, Maheshji? Through the year, your body will have such good Agni, Hemaji, because in other months, say in spring you went off and you were putting oil non-stop, your body after a while may not be able to digest that oil, right? Be comfortable with it. In others, in Sharad Ritu, you might put too much oil, it cannot handle it. But when the Dakshinayan or the southern course or the moon course, it has reached its perfection, that it will reach in Hemant Ritu, moon is ideal, Kapha is naturally building, not in excitation. We are actually consciously building Kapha, and even the people who are obese cannot at least afford to go on a diet at this time. And some healthy Kapha everybody needs, because Kapha leads to Oja and Shukra, which is our next topic, reproductive tissue and vitality tissue, which we absolutely need. So therefore we need to oil, and especially our head. Our classic says, put lots of oil on your head and then take a shower. So oil bath, oil massage before shower becomes very, very important. And some kind of exercising you wanted to take up, this is a good time because you're well fed, Kapha is building, and not heavy, but just we have some rules of exercise that we have taught in the past, teaching in our 2-month course and other courses also, that you follow those rules where you should not be out of breath, you should not be in complete discomfort, should not be breathing from your mouth. That kind of exercise we will want to do, not on a full stomach but empty stomach. And then Ayurveda says that this is a great time to make babies. This is a great time also to basically get married and have a honeymoon. Because at other times when we are very sexually active, for example, because of the sun beating down on us, etc., we can get very depleted. We can get very depleted, very tired, and that depletion and tiredness of our being will show up in our sperm. Don't you agree? It will show up in our body tissue, our sexual tissue. But when Kapha is being built, when we can nourish it, when moon is in its optimum position, all the doshas, neither Pitta becomes naturally pacified, which was aggravated in Sharad Ritu. Vat is completely under control as long as we are feeding it and oiling it, no problem. And Kapha, either due to coldness or due to rain, is slowly building him. We actually wanted to build up. Anything extra will come out in spring, no problem. We'll take care of it then. But for now, this is the ideal season, Hemaji, where not one single dosha is in aggravation. How good is that? You like it? Shall we say Jai Ma? Jai Ma. We are here in Hemanta and we love it. So if you have children, if you have infants, time to feed them nourishing foods, time to even cook their milk with nuts in them. With my son, I'm just so excited, because he wants to gain weight and he wants to do some exercise. So I've been holding him a lot from exercising. Now I can say, okay, you can exercise some, but more in spring. But this is the time where I can nourish you with all sorts of rich foods. So saffron is also something very special during this time that we take. And of course, all those beautiful nuts and healthy foods that can nourish you. Desserts will also work fine. Of course, we have an Ayurvedic rule that we will not keep our heaviest meal at the end of the day. We will have it more in the daytime. There should be some space between your eating and your sleeping. So those basic rules you have to keep learning from us, keep returning to us, keep studying with us to understand more and more what you don't violate. What Hemant Ritu doesn't mean that you check yourself into the nearest fast food place and eat and then put Vedika in charge of your health, because that I don't think is acceptable. It still means we make discriminating choices. It still means we eat the healthiest of foods, but it means that body is made up of matter, and now the matter that we are choosing is Aap and Prithvi, water and earth dominant foods. We are choosing foods that have some snigdhata, oiliness in them, madhurata, sweetness in them. And so this is very, very important. During the rainy season, amlata or sour taste was dominant in the universe. During the Sharad Ritu or autumn season, lavanaras or saltiness was dominant throughout. But now in Sharad Ritu, madhurata is dominant in everything. So even if you take your ginger, it will have some hiding madhur rasa in it. Nature is really seducing us with its sweetness, and it is really trying to tell us this is a time for a growth journey, a build-up time, a nourishing time. Our beautiful texts have recommended lighting fire and sitting around it in a cozy circle. I hope we have a place one day where we can have a fire and we can do a little circle around it. You know, sitting in front of heat, being together in an intimate way to soak warmth of each other and enjoying warm, sweet, nourishing foods. So I have prepared you in advance. Please cancel those diet plans. Please enjoy your holidays guilt-free. When spring will come, we will help you lose weight. That is the right time. If you follow the laws of nature, if you look at your favorite birds and animals, if they are at home, even they will eat more. I have two beautiful souls in dog bodies, and they really need their extra cookies and extra meals during Hemant and Shishir. So this is a beautiful time to what is called as fill your being with kapha